quick video for you today. This is my favorite vocal chain for male vocals on the Behringer WING. So what you do is you start off with your de-esser. So de-esser, set it to wherever the S's land. And a lot of times, cheat code, look. If you can have your singer sing, and then look at where your harsh S's are landing on the actual EQ screen. That's if your ears aren't there yet or you're still learning. Go there, look, and then you can actually dial in to the frequency on the de-esser itself. I always go high frequency only is off, where it's actually going to compress everything based on that frequency. If your input gain is set kind of, pretty close to correct, whatever correct is, but, around -18, -20, somewhere in there, this range knob in the normal range will actually do pretty well. It may choke it down sometimes, but better, sometimes too little than too much. So set your de-esser. This is how I set mine. Then I jump over to my EQ. I'm cutting out some low mids, a lot of low mids, high passing, low cutting up at about 150, doing a notch at about 200, another notch at around, 800-900. Low shelf is up at 600. And then nothing else up here. I mean, obviously, this is all in context with a vocal, any vocal. Use the PSC LA2A combo, where it is cutting off the quiet stuff and cutting it off to about, minus or down about 12 dB. Make it so then you dial in your peak reduction so that this compressor is knocking off, 3 dB, 4 dB. And then I come to the next effects insert slot and use the vintage channel, where it's actually compressor, EQ, and another compressor. So on this channel, I've got directly 3 compressors on the channel. Set the 1176 here, attack at 3, release at 7. Then this other compressor, your LA2A, where it's knocking off about 3 more dB. Then jump down to the second insert and use the triple dynamic EQ. Have your low band at the around. You can either use the 12 dB or the 6 dB per octave shelf down here. Cut out low mids and then the upper mids if needed. So that is like from a top level, that's what's going on here. It's a pretty full vocal chain, but I think works pretty well. So let's go through this. I'll turn all of it off and on, and you can hear what's going on.
My King of glory, who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? To the mountain of the Lord, a generation pure and holy. My King of glory, who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord?
Hey,
we will ascend to the mountain of the Lord, a generation pure and holy.
and our effects.
My King of glory, who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Who will ascend?
All right, so those effect settings are in the description below, but they are, let's jump over here. The vocal reverb is the plate reverb, and the delay is actually the tape delay followed by, at 35% wet, the vintage plate. So that's the delay, so it's a little smoother sounding. Those settings, again, in the description. And then we're running this vocal through our vocal bus. And on that vocal bus, we have, for all of our vocals grouped together, we have the 1176, followed by the exciter at about, what's that, 20% mix, tuned to around 4K, so that it gets a little bit of extra shine, and then a boost at 12K on the Pultec for the whole group, and then the dual pitch doing a little bit of work, like only 8%. So it's really, really minor, but all of our vocals run through that. So that, again, here is what all of that sounds like in context.
My King of glory, who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord? Hey, we will ascend to the mountain of the Lord. A generation pure and holy. Only your blood can wash these stains from my hands.
All right, so that's my favorite male vocal chain on the Behringer WING. I hope this has been helpful. Again, presets, settings, all that stuff in the description below. Check it out there. Thanks again to Sweet Tree for sponsoring the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.